return in a moment to Weekday Wings on the Discovery. Britain's Tornado GR-1s flew low-level bombing missions deep in Iraqi territory, and they took the heaviest losses of all coalition aircraft. The Tornado force represented just 4% of Allied air strength, but it suffered 26% of the casualties.
The problem was that the Iraqis had an awful lot of AAA guns to defend their airfields, and at night, to see this solid wall of tracer go up was something that no one had ever really experienced before, and it's very frightening and very distracting. Although it probably wasn't that effective, it certainly tends to take your eye off the ball.
Oh, come on, what fucking heading have I got here? Don't stop.
Lincoln and Stanford Buckeye, sockets behind you.
The Tornado suffered a higher rate of losses than some of the other aeroplanes, partially due to the nature of some of the sorties we were flying, and also we had a fair degree of bad luck as well. If you haven't got luck with you, then obviously you're not going to survive.
Well done, Benny. Toss them all in?
Yeah.
Excellent. Well done. Yeah, make a big bang.
Yes. To say the least.
There are 20 to 25 of us killed every year in normal training accidents, and to be honest, the loss rate was no more than we would normally experience in peacetime, especially considering the amount of flying and the type of flying that was being done. Very low level, very demanding training indeed during the build-up to the war. So losing friends is something that's not new. It's something that we are used to. I mean, it never comes very easy, but it's something that's not that unusual.
5 Tornado pilots were killed in action. Another 7 were captured by the Iraqis and held as prisoners of war. Fortunately, the war was short. By March 1991, all Allied POWs were released to friendly forces. Another problem facing the RAF and all coalition pilots was the unusually poor weather in the Middle East. As any pilot will attest, things can get tricky when you're flying at night.
The weather was not beautiful desert, clear blue sky weather. There were a number of thunderstorms and with great turbulence. Now, because this aeroplane is only a very small aeroplane, and it only carries a limited amount of fuel, all our operations involved air-to-air refueling with one of our tanker aircraft. On some nights we were actually tanking in very, very nasty thunderstorm and electronic storm weathers, where the aeroplanes were being buffeted around quite significantly, and all the pilots to a man did extremely well and to be able to make contact with the tanker aircraft and take the fuel.
But the major safety threat was still Iraq's surface-to-air missiles and anti-aircraft guns. So after losing 5 planes in the first week, Tornadoes were sent to higher, safer altitudes. The RAF claimed this was done not because of the high loss rate, but because air superiority had been so quickly achieved that Tornadoes no longer needed to bomb airstrips. But the fact remains that although the Tornado is a versatile airframe, it was not designed for medium-level bombing, nor had its crews ever trained for that mission.
3, 2, 1. Should see an impact soon. Gone. Impact is. Start moving up the runway.
Dropping laser-guided bombs from medium altitudes was new to GR-1 pilots, who specialized in delivering their unguided JP-233 runway denial munitions from treetop level. But laser-guided bombs were also capable of blowing holes in Iraqi airstrips.
Lasers off.
However, JP-233s create a much wider circle of destruction. They carry 30 concrete cratering bomblets and 215 delayed fuse mines, making airstrip repair a hazardous enterprise. Switching to laser-guided bombs cut down Tornado losses, but RAF pilots still praise the destructive power of the JP-233.
Impact 1, 2, 3.
The Tornado was always going to be used for low-level attacks against the airfield using the JP-233. That is such a specialized weapon, only the Tornado can drop it. It was always going to be used for that. And there's no way you can drop that weapon from medium level. So the path was clear. We had to do that.
Bloody marvelous. You little peach.
5 tornadoes were lost during low-level attacks on Iraqi air bases. But although the bombers were sent to higher levels, the 6 reconnaissance tornadoes continued to fly high-speed, low-level missions for the duration of the war, without a single loss.
Got the bridge.
There's no such thing as a clean war. You can't just take out the targets without killing people, or killing innocent people, if you like. But you can go a long way towards it by using guided weapons. But they're expensive, very expensive. So you have to trade one against the other.
When ceasefire was called on March 3rd, the RAF had flown over 6,100 sorties, the largest number flown by any nation except the United States. The 5 tiled tornadoes flew 72 successful sorties in 17 days. The 6 GR-1A recon tornadoes flew 128 night sorties, and the 46 British GR-1s in the Gulf flew over 1,600 sorties.
There are a lot of people who say that air power won the Gulf War. I have a little trouble with that, because air power is only one part of the land, sea, and air campaign. I am very proud of the contribution that we made, working together, flying side by side. And it wasn't only the United States Air Force, it was the Navy, the Marine Corps, the Islamic allies, our European allies, the French, the British, the Canadians. We really pulled together as a team. And I believe one of the reasons the war got over so quickly and with so few casualties is because of the lethality and flexibility of modern air power.
The U.S. naval buildup during the Gulf War was the largest such mobilization since World War II. 6 carrier battle groups massed in the Middle East, and the decks of those carriers roared non-stop. The sleek F-14 Tomcats were perhaps the best-known planes on board, and Marine Aviate Harriers were the other stars of the deck. But the Navy's key asset was actually the oldest, least glamorous plane on board, the venerable A-6. This late 50s design filled 3 crucial roles in the Gulf: tanking, electronic jamming, and long-range attack. Streaking in from the sea, A-6s were bold reminders of the deadly potential of power projection. A-6s have rolled off Grumman Aerospace Corporation assembly lines since the late 1950s. Over the years, the plane has gone from vacuum tubes to microcircuits. It was designed to fly in all weather conditions, both as a Marine close air support plane and a Navy long-range medium bomber. Flying complicated bombing missions requires a 2-man crew. As with F-111s, which fly similar missions, 2 aviators sit side by side, pilot on the left, bombardier navigator on the right. The first A-6A Intruder was delivered to the Navy in 1963. Soon, A-6s were being mass-produced and flying directly into frontline combat in Vietnam. During the Vietnam War, the Navy's new attack plane underwent years of brutal field testing.